Hello again, dinosaur fans. So I'm becoming more of a dinosaur fan by collecting toys. So I'm going to read off some Wikipedia. This Carcharodontosaurus, that's a long name. It's a dinosaur that used to live in North Africa, and it was the late Cretaceous period, I believe. Yes. And it was discovered in the early 1900s in Egypt, and it's one of the larger of the dinosaurs, which this image will show here. So if we look here, it's actually small on this scale. T-Rex is this blue one, and then the biggest predator was Spinosaurus, okay? So still 13 meters compared to that human being. I wouldn't want to run into that thing, right? And supposedly this thing could have weighed between 4 to 7 tons or so, somewhere in that ballpark. Alright, so that's what I care to learn about this thing. Here's some renderings. Who knows what they really looked like. I don't have a time machine. So let me actually close these out here. And let's get into this toy here with a different angle of light. So I've never reviewed one of these. I just stumbled into these as I was looking up other cute, comical dinosaurs. I have a suspicion the brand is called Kong Species Studio. It says Kong Species is one word. And then I think the line is called Dino Roll. And then I have no idea, TZ King. I don't know if that's the designer, maybe, of either the sculpture or the drawing. I'm not sure. It's got a number 1 here, and then written in Chinese and English. And so there's 6 in each wave, I guess. This is wave 1. So the famous dinosaurs I grew up with as a kid, these 3, right? And then I've heard of this. This is I don't know this name, but I recognize the dinosaur. But this one I never knew about as a kid. So just the other 5 I knew about as a little kid. Alright, so what else do we have? Oh, a whole bunch of Chinese, a whole bunch of QR codes. Oh, there's a website, so you should probably look at that. 8 recommended for 8-year-olds and up. And then this is a pretty strong, fancy box. Kind of cardboard box you'd expect an iPhone to come in. This is expensive, by the way, because it's out of print. But even the brand new ones, I think, are expensive. I think they may have cost $30 brand new, but everything's $60 and more dollars now to get these things. And partially is because of these wasteful things. You have this credit card thing. I don't need this. Why do I need this? I'm not going to go shopping with this thing. I mean, I already have this image on the box, so why do I need this again? It's just strange, I think, to collect something beyond the thing you're buying. Alright, that's one thing. And then we have a postcard. I don't know what that thing is, but some of these are cool, actually. I think they make this thing in the wave 3 or 4. I don't know if they made any of those, but you'll see there's numbers next to them. So maybe in the future they will come out. Oh, see, so now these are some other things that they make. These are called ancient beasts, and I'm gonna get one of these, maybe a few of these in the future. It's kind of weird though. They're like cool looking caricatures, but then they have like robot insides. I'm not sure why. I don't see that. I think I'd be happy with just that and have a cheaper model again. Alright, well, interesting, that thing. And then what do we have here? Alright, so we can learn if we knew Chinese. It tells you a blurb about each of them. I will try to get each of these at some point in time, but they are expensive, as I mentioned, so maybe I have to stop collecting die-cast cars. Alright, some sort of stuff there. I'm looking for a date. No date. Let's see. Nothing else under this. Some like really fine foam, really strong box. I mean, it's good that the product showed up intact so far. I'm wondering if this is soft plastic or if this is hard resin. And I don't know, it's possibly hard resin, so you might not want to go flexing this because it might literally snap like a piece of ceramic. So first thing is dimensionally. This thing is roughly, I would say, 8 centimeters tall, a little over 3 inches. Lengthwise, maybe 10 centimeters, maybe 4 inches, somewhere in that ballpark. So it's very, the initial impression is it's very funky looking. It's definitely a tooned version of a real dinosaur. In particular, you got these crazy big eyes, and I think these are actually made of glass. That's what I saw on the internet. So if that's the case, I guess that would explain, part of the cost, having glass eyes. And then they print it on this black pupil, or is it paint? I don't know. I would hope it's paint. Well, tampo print is paint. I almost wish it would actually have like a recess, and then they pooled paint into it. But looking at this side, there's no recess whatsoever. So it's literally just a black dot on top of this glass. The issue is glass is very smooth, I'm worried that might chip off or something, right? But if it was in a recess and had a pool of black, then, you could always fix it and stuff later. And even, well, anyways. Okay, so looking at the nostril here, there's no black paint or anything like that. Let me switch pointers. But look at this sculpturing, it's very impressive. Let me hit focus. Look how finely sculpted whatever these details are. And then you can see the scales here vary in shape quite a bit. These are actually quite deep up here. These are much more shallow and more rounded down here. You have some different red paint washes going on. This is kind of gross to look at, but it looks like a bloody mouth. And then it looks like it has a lot of tartar on its teeth, right? It's not just one color. So they have a bunch of different paint washes to give it this look of a real organism, that doesn't brush its teeth. So it's actually quite impressive. This tongue is a little bit crazy. It's almost like a horror movie tongue. But yeah, the sculpturing in here is pretty insane. Okay, and I do like the teeth. They're not symmetric either. Look at the asymmetry of the teeth in here. Okay, so very nice. Yeah, this is a much bigger root system. Oh, it's 2 teeth in 1. That's why. So you can spend minutes just looking at the mouth of this thing. All right. Well, anyways, up here we have some big scales, horned ridge scales, I guess you can call that. And then you can see the fading. It's like a light tan, and then there's like a dark paint, like maybe airbrushing on top of it. But then on top of that, they seem to have printed on a tan again. And down here, at least, it looks like the tan is outlined in black. So a lot of different paint processes going on there. And then you can see, just again, the sculpting, how it varies all over the body. The tail gets pretty smooth, actually. But here, really gnarly scales. Yeah, here, very rocky looking. This looks more like maybe the skin of a rhinoceros or something, or an elephant. But here is clearly more like a rock. And then here they're just really flattened out, but then they get bigger around the stomach. Interesting. And then the little spindly arms have a little bit of a dark gray for the claws. You can see up here, I think the head's a separate piece, or at least the jaw is. A little break here. Got some weird veins and veiny textures there. Up here, oh, okay, looks like there might be some Chinese letters there, or no, I might be mistaken. I thought I saw some Chinese characters, but I think it's just the sculpturing of the scales there. All right, so you can see that the feet are contouring this ball. I guess that's why it's called Dino Roll, as if it was rolling a ball. The claws here, they have many colors again, and sculpted grooves. So that's neat. The claws are kind of shiny, but the body is clearly a pretty matte finish, especially down in the belly. The mouth is kind of wet looking again, so a lot of different paint finishes. And this is kind of neat, it's like a skeleton of this dinosaur, all miniaturized. And even this thing has a bunch of different paint, right? You got the white and the orange, and then they put a bunch of black paint wash in there. Yeah, so the paint wash there really adds, brings out the details of the sculpting. What I'm not, uh, well, what I'm hoping they have is like text here. Like they could have the Chinese text up here and the English text of what this dinosaur is, right? Because this doesn't, it's not a realistic dinosaur. It's a cartoon dinosaur. If I were to collect a bunch of these, I'm going to just know that this is a tan dinosaur, but I'm not going to know its name, right? So if you're going to have that much real estate, it would have been cool to just have the name of it, or maybe on one side of this you have like a placard or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure why this, if this is supposed to be an egg or what, but it's got an interesting texture on it, and then like these weird triangles on it, and then a few dots. I have to, maybe that's, but see, like, if this was an egg, wouldn't this want to be more like an embryo instead of a dead skeleton? Yeah, that's just the way I'm thinking. Oh, well, nice some inner claws here on the feet there. And in particular, this one closest to us is actually floating out there. Probably don't want to pick at that. That might be rigid. Yeah, so, just the sound of it, this is a rigid plastic, like a ceramic. So you gotta be very careful. If you drop this, it's gonna crack, I think, like a ceramic. Yeah. Alright, so it's like a garage kit, that kind of plastic. Alright, a few other dinosaurs here. We have a Spinosaurus. These next three are all by a brand called Animal Heavenly Body, but they're from different lines. This one is rigid plastic also, so I actually got that broken. It was really difficult to fix the claw. Now this is a line that they put out that's relatively inexpensive. It's called the Dinosaur line. This is the T-Rex from it. But it's, I think, a little bit too big, actually, compared to the Spinosaurus, which in history was a bigger dinosaur. And this is made by the same brand, but for this museum here. And this is a Yangchuanosaurus. Alright, so minus the funky little egg thing, I mean, I guess they fit in pretty well. This is the least detailed, but it's also the least expensive. This is also kind of not so detailed well. This is definitely just as detailed as this, if not more, because it's got that harder plastic. So I guess you can get better detail out of a hard plastic than a softer PVC kind of thing. Everything is a compromise. This is more durable, but it's cheaper. This is more detailed, but it's fragile. Alright, well, this is cool. I mean, look at the eyes. I mean, look how the light shifts in there. I think it would have been cooler if there was a way, if these bodies were PVC, granted they'd be less detailed, but then you could pop in like glass marbles, and then you could move the eye around, if it was a true sphere. But I guess you can't do that, or can? Yeah, I'm trying to move the eye. I don't think it's meant to move or rotate, so don't take pliers to it. It's glass. So, yeah, but look at the light going through those eyes. It's quite interesting. Okay, well, I'll try to get some more, and hopefully we'll see you when that video happens. Thanks for watching.